Hi, it's Steve, and we're going to talk about sales mastery, module number 5. This is Gary West's program that he's been sharing with us in the RAIN group, and today I have a special guest star, Brian Bull, who's taken time out of the bullpen to come join us at Sales Center. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you, Steve. Glad to be here.
Okay, so today we're just going to talk about the rapport principles. So building rapport with clients on current jobs, prospective clients. And the 4 keys to rapport principles are empathy, authenticity, similarity, and sharing experience or shared experiences. So let's talk first about empathy. Empathy is, I always just break it down as like feeling like someone else feels. You told me today, prior to us getting on air, that you're not a very good salesman. And I beg to differ, because I've seen you interact with people, and I've seen you listen to people, and I've seen you engage with people, and maybe you not think you're selling, but you are.
Well, empathy, I think the main thing is listening. You could kind of get a feeling about how a person's day is going. Don't you agree with that, Steve?
Right.
Just by the way they're walking, if their shoulders are down, if you could just tell if they're having a bad day or if they're having a good day. If you're having a bad day and I'm going to come at you hot and heavy, it's not going to be a good time.
No, it's not. So let's say you're in an OAC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say one of the principals comes to the meeting. Can you kind of tell by their tone, and you just mentioned this, by their look, what's going on with them?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
If you can't, I don't think you're looking hard enough.
Right. So
you're not paying enough attention.
You're paying attention, right?
You're not listening enough.
And observing.
Yes.
And observing can be through sight or through ears. And it may be that they're kind of off a little bit. And it doesn't have to be off either. They could be excited about something, right? Maybe they just got a new deal. Maybe we hit a milestone on the job. And so it's feeling like they feel, and somehow then trying to be curious and not to turn over too many stones, but maybe say, hey, Jim, you look really happy today.
Yeah.
Well, I am happy. Brian, I mean, you guys, we just got these panels up and we're ahead of schedule. I mean, what's not to be happy about? And is that something you can build on?
Oh, most definitely. I think so. It could go both ways. Like if they're having a bad day, you could say, hey, are you doing okay? Anything I could do to help you?
So you've got this guy that he comes into your meeting and he looks like he's about ready to explode, or he's got to get something off his chest. And hey, Jim, how are you doing? And he tells you, I'm not doing very well. What's wrong? Well, you told me you'd have the panel up today, and it's not. We missed kind of an important milestone. What are you going to say to him, or how are you going to react to that?
Hopefully I'm prepped for that.
Absolutely.
And
you probably know already, right?
Yes. And you should have had him prepped before he showed up. And if he's not prepped before he shows up, shame on you.
Right. Well, and it's easy to just all of a sudden spout off solutions, right?
Yes.
That's what you want to do. You want to give him some answers, but also you want to be able to let him know that you understand what he's feeling.
Yes.
I think that's important.
Yes. By
By restating or by just saying, it looks like we've really disappointed you.
That's a good one.
And all of a sudden you're connected, right?
Yep.
I feel what you feel. Now let me tell you what I think I can do to help that.
Or just say, like you said, repeat what he said and say, just give me 5 minutes to go dig and figure out what happened, and let's come up with a plan of attack to fix this.
Great. Okay, well, I think we've covered empathy in our rapport principles. Next is authenticity, and this is really how we are being real. I mean, being authentic is kind of a catchphrase these days. It seems really popular. Cowboys are authentic, right? They're true to the West. They're true to the code.
It's horrible at football, but
yes. So you want to be real to our clients.
Mm-hmm.
We've promised them some stuff along the way. In your first few meetings with a client, you're working on plans. We're trying to get that moved on to estimating, things like that. We're letting them know that we are stout building contractors. We are who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We are fairly small company, but we're nimble. That's an advantage to our smallness.
We're adaptable.
We're adaptable, and we would give examples about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
hardworking.
Hardworking.
I'll tell you what, we have the hardest working superintendents that I've ever worked with.
I agree with you. And trained right.
Trained right.
Led properly.
Yep.
We have 2 owners that are adaptable.
Yep.
Very hands-on. A lot of companies can't speak to that. And so I think then if we make promises on time, on budget, we have to keep those promises. That's how we're authentic. We're true to our word. And we also, when we're bearing bad news, we need to bear it quickly in the process.
And that's one of the hardest things to do.
Right.
It takes a lot.
Don't you always want to be the bearer of good news?
Exactly. It is the worst to bear bad news.
But if we do it sooner, I think it's received better if it's given from the get-go, because it just compounds, and sometimes it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the customer says, wow, why didn't you tell me sooner? We could have worked on this together.
Some guys are built just to fix it, instead of just telling it.
Right.
So it is
tackle it together.
Yeah. So it's a hard thing to do. But that's one of the problems that I've always had to deal with, that I've been working on my whole career, because I was always tried to fix it.
You wanted to be Mr. Fix-It.
Yep. And it's always hurt me at the end. So that's something I've had to work on.
But if you found that if you're just really upfront with them,
it's so much easier.
Even in personal relationships, at home, if I'm upfront with my wife or my kids, it's like, okay, that's better.
It's so much easier.
We get that out of the way, and then we can get to solving it together.
It's like I'm trying to fix this thing for 2 weeks, and then finally I have to tell them, and it's like, oh my gosh, I should have told them 2 weeks ago.
Right.
It's
and they sometimes say to you, I wish you would have told me 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. But I'm just so dang stubborn, Well,
let's move on to similarity. So what do we share in common with our clients, our customers, our owners, our developers? What kind of things can we possibly share in common with them?
Trying to turn over a good product.
Okay.
We're trying to hit a schedule together.
Benefits both of us, doesn't it?
We're trying to maintain a good budget to where we're both making money. It's a team effort. I mean, there's so much in common.
And aren't we both trying to bring their dream to life?
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about our industry.
Experience.
Shared together, right?
Yeah.
A shared experience together. And of course, if it's a good experience together, then that leads to other opportunities.
And that's what we kind of...
That leads to a happy customer.
Yeah, that's what we kind of went with this future job in Ogden, was we're trying to build a great experience for you. It's a new developer.
And what were the things we told them? That you're from Ogden?
We're Ogden boys. This is big to us.
Our senior estimator.
Yep.
Spencer's from Ogden. AC's from Ogden.
Superintendent's from Ogden.
And so we're close to the job. Therefore,
field directors from Ogden.
All right there.
Yeah, this is big to us.
And I think we can do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Every job we can find a similarity.
And we weren't low, but they loved us.
See, that makes a great point is maybe these things really do work.
Yeah.
All we're talking about here is connections, rapport, empathy, authenticity, similarity. And then the fourth one is shared experiences.
Yeah.
Your shared experiences become the 10 months you're together, or the 12 months you're together. You just went on a trip to Omaha to visit with a client. You and Ty and Scott went, and you experienced a product that they have there, which they want to bring to Utah, an indoor gun range and things like that. And you got to get to know them a little bit better. And I think with that, you kind of shared some experiences together.
I was out of my comfort zone. I've never shot an assault rifle before in my life.
So do you think you connected with them because you're like showing some vulnerability?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a gun guy.
Well, guess what? Hopefully they think you're the best because you may not know how to fire an assault rifle, but you know how to build a building.
Yeah.
So that's what's important. But I think when you share different things, I mean, that's kind of why we go to lunch with people. That's kind of why we go and share experiences with them at an event. But more importantly, a lot of your shared experiences may be just on the job. Planning the job, working on the job, being boots on the ground, being at the job site, knowing some things that are going on. Also sharing, maybe they've come back off a vacation and you can talk to them about that. Maybe there's a connection. You're a Boston Red Sox fan. Maybe they just went to Boston or Cooperstown because they have a son that plays baseball, and you can connect on that level too. That's important. Maybe you share a love for golf, a passion for guns, the outdoors, fishing, whatever it is. These are all things that can connect us.
Yeah.
And that's all that we're talking about today is connecting. But I also like the fact that sometimes when things may go sideways and you fix it together, it kind of galvanizes the relationship.
Most definitely.
And it makes you tighter. I know that sometimes if I get sideways with someone, we fix it together. Sometimes there's apologies spoken, and then you're like, yeah, let's move on. And then we're tighter than ever.
Yeah.
And that's bound to happen. And we're always going to have stuff that doesn't work out perfect.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Well, Brian, we've talked about a lot of things here. This is kind of fun to have you here in the studio with me and not in the bullpen. I hope you'll come back and visit again, and we can talk about,
you want me
about more
man.
stuff. Anything you'd like to add to the whole thing about rapport principles and things like that?
Just be vulnerable, listen to people, just be yourself, be the best you could be.
I like that a lot.
You won't always be perfect. You'll make mistakes. Own up to it and just live. Just have a good time.
Perfect.
Love your job. Have fun. I have lots of fun. Everybody knows that. And, Stout's a great place. Love you guys.
Thanks, Brian. That was good.